coming to you live and direct right here from Gynesis Radio. You got your man TP in the building. I'm over here. We got Sally Bay and the most interesting DJ in the world, DJ Rudd.
Woo-hoo.
Yeah, we all in here today. You know, we just want to chop it up a little bit with y'all about something that's huge that's going on in the society today, and that is mail order brides. You know, most people, you know, when they talk about mail order brides, they think of European women with the mail order bride thing, and unfortunately, it's just not Russian women and women from, you know, Yugoslavia and in the Ukraine and all those places like that. On the continent of Africa, there is a huge mail order bride organization, a situation, or whatever you want to call it, as well as white slavery. And, you know, when we say white slavery, a lot of people think we're talking about slavery in regards to the African-American slavery. You know, white slavery is women who are stolen from their homeland. Human traffic. That's what white slavery is. Thank you, Sally Bay. But right here in America, we want to talk about the women who are mail order brides that's down in Milwaukee and Minnesota and Detroit. You know, little do people know that there is a huge Somalian communities in those towns that I just mentioned, in those states. And believe it or not, a lot of those women were mail order brides. They got into this country by marrying wealthy businessmen. And not necessarily so, you know, they was very wealthy, but that's what we want to talk a little bit about today, you know. So welcome Sally Bay to the show and the most interesting DJ Rudd.
Thank you.
What's going on, fellas, man? What y'all know about this mail order bride thing, man? What's your perception about it, man?
Well, first thing I want to say, man, you know, when I think of Somalia, right, I always go back to the Lloyd Banks verse. You know, he's talking about like the Somalians with the flies stuck to their face. You know, that cup of coffee.
Mm-hmm.
But, from those pictures you posted, it seemed like I would want to be one of them flies stuck to her face. You know what I mean? Like, woof.
Yeah. How about that? Well, see, just keep in mind that, you know, the pictures are painted of Africa and Africans is always bleak.
Like struggle.
You know, it's always pain and struggling and looks unhealthy and unkept, you know, disorganized. But if you ever did the research, you know, and you travel to some places, I've had the opportunity to get on that continent before, but I haven't been to all the places I want to go. But Africa is not a third world continent, believe it or not. You know, there's a lot of modern stuff there. What you think you know about Africa, you don't know. You know, South Africa is beautiful. You know, Northern Africa is beautiful. You know, you just have some places where there's a little famine because of drought. But other than that, it's a beautiful place to be. It's beautiful. You know, it's beautiful, and the people are beautiful. Just look at those women, man. Look. What do y'all think about that? What did you get to look at those pictures?
I looked at those pictures, man. But before we go into how beautiful the women are, my first thoughts when you say Somalia, I'm gonna end the show. This is gonna be a short show. I'm gonna tell you right now. 2 words I think of Somalia. The movie Captain Phillips. That's the first thing I thought of.
Mm-hmm.
Pirates and you know that movie. They robbing the cargo ships and all that. You see them like it's just like it makes them look so bad. It's the same way they painted us. Like we was all jungle bunnies and all. No, we were kings and queens. We owned land. We cultivated and curated, as we say now, right? We built most of these major cities in this country. we had our hand in there, or whether it be railroads or inventions. We didn't always get the credit, and we still don't sometimes get the credit. But it's not taken away from. Actually, I never actually looked at any pictures of that I knew were Somalian women. I probably saw women that appear like those photos, and I probably would have never thought they were from Somalia unless they told me.
Right.
So even I've been around the block a few times. It's a lesson for me too.
They have a very distinctive look.
Well, you know, the genes are strong of people. Most people that's coming from the continent of Africa, their genes are strong. You know, the Ethiopians, they all look alike. The male and the females, they have the same features. You know, and what a lot of people don't realize is, you know, sometimes, you know, people talk about hair texture, right? And you would think that from what people taught us and said to us, that we would think that all people of African descent have coarse hair, and if their hair is not coarse, it's because they're mixed with something. No, not at all. On the continent of Africa, you know, most people don't have coarse hair. You know, if you look at the Ethiopians and the Somalians and Sudanese, and we go on and on, you know, the Moroccans and so on and so forth, those folks don't got coarse hair, you know.
Shout out to Morocco.
You know, so that's just to name few. But what do y'all think about mail order brides? What come to mind when you think of mail order bride?
How much?
How much?
I second that emotion. That's what I was gonna say.
You second that motion, huh?
Yeah. What are they going for?
I don't know, man. You would have to find out, man.
Well,
you know,
well, you know,
because there's different websites.
You know, we hitting the mega tonight, so we'll definitely find out. Right?
yeah, we're gonna do that, man. But what's crazy is, why would you think a woman would put herself up to be a mail order bride?
At least is up front and forward. I mean, the oldest hustle in the Bible, we already know what it was. So at least they're doing it in you know, we just had that going on. I keep reverting back to the sistership show. I spoke on that. You know, the first thing in Islam, they're not looking at love. You know, do you have a pious woman? Is she wealthy? You know what I mean? How does she look? And then love comes into play.
Yeah, you grow to love them, but
you know, they winning. You know,
true story. You the first person I heard say those 3 words, mail order bride. I haven't heard that terminology in probably 10 years. They don't say that no more. It's trending now. They have TV shows, series, you know, 90 Day Fiance and
right,
and Married in 60 Days or whatever. These are like, it's more normal now. Like it's an arranged, just like in Islam and some other cultures, marriages are already arranged. You know, your daughter's marrying my son.
The psychology of it all is status.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's why Facebook started with status message. It just didn't know how far it was gonna go. The like button, the comments. I mean, this is really that's what we're in. You know, everything is gonna be pulled up, you know, like a Wikipedia, who you are and what you're about. I guess that's why we're going through all of this it seemed like it's a purge going on in the world.
Well, you know what's crazy about it all is this. You know, there are men who travel to these different countries where these so-called mail order brides are, and they actually get to meet these women, you know, and they have little dates, kind of like speed dating, you know, and they chop it up with them and they wine and dine them, you know, and sometimes they come back for a second time around, you know, they might make 2 or 3 trips over there before they decide on who they're going to marry, and then they have to start the process of bringing them back to their home countries, you know, and
K-14 visas and all that stuff, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And what I found out is the bulk of these women from Africa, who, it blows my mind how they, you know, they were strict Muslim women in Somalia, you know, and how did they come from behind the veil to be able to become a mail order bride? And I'm wondering if Are they being sold? Is somebody collecting a fee for these women? You know,
Like
it's always a bag
I'm
involved.
saying like a finder's fee or something.
yeah.
I guess GMG's in the right business then.
Look, that was a show too. They had a matchmaking show. It was a lady. She puts 10, 20 women in a room with like 4 millionaires, and they get the meet greet, and then they narrow it down. Well, we're gonna knock out these 5, but then they're gonna do it again, and that's been going on for years, and it's televised. It's nothing illegal about being a professional
Matchmaker.
matchmaker. Yeah, what's the Millionaire Matchmaker? That's what they call that lady, the Millionaire Matchmaker.
Yeah, Millionaire Matchmaker.
Goes back to Chuck Woolery all the way to Heidi Fleiss, huh?
Yeah, well, somewhat more or less, yeah.
But I gotta retract something, man, because I sounded like a professional. They did the K1 these. This is what I heard, though. I don't really know nothing about this. This is what I heard. This is what they told me.
ATP. I know this is a little bit off topic, right? But you started with third world continents. Do you feel that United States is becoming a third world continent?
Hey, if the Republicans have their way, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Because I was thinking about the continents, and it's like, well, we kind of been going through it lately,
Yeah.
I just wanted to ask that question.
We have, but what do y'all think? Let's be real. Somalian women, the country of Somalia, right? When I see Somalia, and Sharice had sent me some stuff last night when we were going back and forth on this thread of pictures of what her perception is of Somalian women.
And what was her perception?
They were all Muslim and covered up, and almost wearing a burqa, And I agree with her. I said, yeah, when I Googled and looked and did the research, most of the women that I came across were like that, but then there were a whole lot of women who are like the women that we shared in the post.
So they're hiding them,
and
so they're hiding them under guard.
Yes.
Hijabs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's smart. That's pretty smart.
So then I did more research, and I found out in Minneapolis and Minnesota and Milwaukee and Detroit that there are huge Somalian communities over there, and it's a big thing.
So listen, TP, you did all this research. You didn't answer our question. How much?
Hey, look, man.
Right? He did all this research.
Listen,
how much, man?
It don't say
before
nothing.
we go to break,
I got some healthy.
It don't say nothing.
I have some millionaire friends that might want to know.
Hey, listen. It might be one of those situations. If you need to ask the price, you can't afford it. It might be one of them situations.
Might be.
You know what I mean? Because guess what? I heard about it. I did the research about it, but nobody said what it costs, other than you have to pay your way to fly to the country.
So it could be a 4.0 or 4.6.
7 times. Yes, yeah, that's right.
What's the difference between a 4.0 and a 4.6?
Absolutely nothing, if you ask me.
25,000, my man.
Yeah. It's the same ride to me,
baby. What kind of spinner are you looking for?
Hey, listen. Everybody want a young spinner. You know that.
Yeah. That's like you said, that's the oldest game in the book right there.
But what's funny is Sharice sent me an article, a news clipping yesterday of all these women down in, I'm not sure if it was Milwaukee or Minnesota, from this Somali community where all these Somalian women were getting murdered. Their husbands was killing them. Their boyfriends was killing them, and one of the biggest factors was they have become Americanized, and see that Cardi B and that little Kim, that Cardi B.
The product was manipulated.
Yeah, man. They done, took these good Muslim women and turned them into hoochie mamas.
Right.
And the brothers can't handle that, because
they throwing the babies out with the bathwater, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm pretty sure they can handle it after they paid that bag for them.
Yeah, well,
You dropped the bag for them, and
but then there was a whole lot that's living the American dream. You know, they here, they live the American dream. You know,
and they might have had an agenda they already knew when they got over here what they were going to do.
These wealthy businessmen, you know, they can afford them, man. You know, and believe it or not, them little pretty ones that we were looking at that were posted, 90% of them are married to Caucasian men. That's
the mentality, TP. You and I, we always talk about this, man. The golden rule, and that means he who has the gold makes the rules. That's the mentality on a lot of stuff. Even if we're not talking about this subject, when the golden rule apply, like if you built the house by yourself, it's your house in your mind, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's how people think. Even if we built the house for the family, you know, if we hit Splitsville, you know, it's my house. Same thing. If they paying for something, they feel like they have the ownership. They're looking at it like a person. They looking at it like this is something like a piece of property that I own.
I'm looking at these pictures though, man.
Yeah.
And I swear, at first I thought this was the same female.
Yeah, let me see that. Let me see those pictures.
Because
we get ready to go to a break in a minute, but I got a young bull sitting next to me for the next show. Kirk see.
Yeah.
Take a look at these women. You saw them. Where would you think they were from?
Wait, he's built for a Somalian chick. His sweatshirt says "Stay conceited."
But you would think they were from Somalia? Like if you saw them from that part of the region? Take a look.
His sweatshirt says "Stay conceited."
That's conceited, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's the legend, the myth.
Maybe.
Maybe.
What do I know, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm open-minded. Who knows?
I would think. I don't know.
Some of them. One of them had a job on me.
It could be family, right? We don't
never know. Yeah.
No.
It looks good.
You never know. But they definitely pretty women. All those aside. It could be DR, it could be Brazil. You know, it's
the issue that comes to mind to me though is like, can you buy loyalty? You know, so it's like,
guess what? If they coming from one of those tribes
as long as you
in Somalia,
the intentions of their loyalty.
When things get rough, you know, everybody want to come to the land of milk and honey, man.
You know what you got to do, though, right? I hate to say it. The fear lasts longer.
Nah,
they are afraid when they come here.
I'm not doing that.
No,
but Somalian chick.
Yeah, because it's just different. It's a new
work spears, knives.
Nah, it's a
They
new.
probably know how to pop that AK-47.
It's a new place.
Know how to hit with it since she was probably like 8 or something, right? Once she was able to pick it up,
right.
So that's not an issue. No fear.
Nah, no fear in that. No fear in that. Respect. We want respect. You know what I mean? Fear.
I don't want respect, but I wouldn't trust it.
Well, here's the $64,000 question. You know, would any of you brothers consider a mail order bride? Because you got to take time to get to know them.
I have to think about that.
Like I said, I have some wealthy friends that might consider it. That's why I was asking the price.
After tonight, it won't matter.
Yeah, after tonight, it won't matter.
Yeah, my man really want to know though. My man, he keep texting me right now.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I got a couple of wealthy homeboys that would like. I think they tuned in too, man. I think they tapped in right now.
But look, we don't got much time, but I'm gonna set us up for the next time we get on the mic because the only reason that you could even toss a question like that in a room full of kings is that some of us had some very bad experiences with our own kind. And sometimes when you had those type of experiences, you might think about crossing the pond and see what it's like in other parts of the world.
This one looks like Maya.
Hey.
I don't know. Listen.
Go ahead, bro. You can say they look like brand new money.
Maya or Mike?
Oh.
That's another show, right?
Oh yeah. Gay for pay, right?
Gay for pay.
Yeah. Oh
Listen,
man.
The world we live in, it is definitely becoming wrong.
we go to break. When we get back on the mic,
Yeah,
we
we're gonna
gonna get into this, man. We're gonna get out the way. We got our VIPs in the building. These guys been on the air. I've been listening from afar to you guys since the first show, and I actually I see a lot of growth since that day. I seen a lot of growth.
Yeah.
A lot of growth. I remember when you first was talking about the clothing line and all that stuff, and for your age, y'all came in very mature. And I'm proud of y'all, man. And I can't wait to see what y'all doing tonight. We came up here, we're gonna get out your way and we're gonna let them go away.
All right, y'all. We'll be back. Sit back, relax, enjoy the ride. We got the greedy game coming up next.
Peace. Yeah, man, y'all got a lot of growth, man.
Appreciate
This is
that,
good.
man.
Nah,
Yeah, it's been
it's
a long time coming.